السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Hello everyone and welcome back to another stream slash recording for the Quran, where we listen to it in Arabic and continue discussing it in English. And we're going to take it ayah by ayah. We take about 33 verses per time. I'm Ahmed.
And I'm Safa.
And
I'm Muhammad.
And we're all here today to discuss the Quran. And we're going to start with the spicy ayah today. So let's get into it the same way that we do every time. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. And off we go.
يسألونك عن الخمر والميسر قل فيهما إثم كبير ومنافع للناس وإثمهما أكبر من نفعهما ويسألونك ماذا ينفقون قل العفو كذلك يبين الله لكم الآيات لعلكم تتفكرون.
Okay. The reason why this is quite spicy is because it directly ties into me and my sins, or my previous sins, and things that I wanted to continue doing because I like playing poker with my friends. But less story, more Quran. يسألونك, they ask you, about al-khamr, intoxicants, which is an interesting one. What makes you intoxicated. والميسر, games of chance, gambling. قل, say, فيهما, in them both, إثم, sin, a big sin, a great sin, not just a normal sin, and and some benefits to the people. However, the sins of both of them are bigger than the benefits of the two. And they ask you what they should spend. Say the surplus. That's why what makes it clear for God to you the verses, so that you may be pondering. But I also think so that you may think, so that you may be aware of it. But let's talk about what it means. What is all this? Why is this happening? What's going on?
Yeah, so there are many verses, 4 verses in the Quran that talk about alcohol or intoxicants. And this is, I think, the first verse that came because the situation when it was revealed is that someone asked the Prophet about drinking alcohol and gambling.
Yeah.
Because this is what they used to do at the time. So they asked him, is this right? Is this wrong? And then he told them, and then God told him to tell them that there's a great sin in them, and there are also benefits, of course, in terms of
you win some money,
having fun, making money, some benefits, but the sin is bigger than the benefits, so don't do it.
And then why does it say they ask you what they should spend? Is this what they spend as a result of winning from gambling, or is this what they should spend in general?
No, what they should spend in general. What they should spend on zakah, I think. Let me check.
Yeah, like I'm not sure, because for me, like a way of understanding this is that anything that you gain from gambling should be spent, but I don't know if that's.
No, I think what it means, what they can give in zakah, like what they should spend in for a good doing. Yeah. So you should spend what is in surplus. The excess. You do not spend the money that is necessary for you to eat or drink or live.
Yeah.
You spend from the money that is above your need. So if you are like very, very poor and you only have the money that you can survive with, then you are not obliged to pay for someone else.
Okay, I think that seems kind of clear to me, and thus it's made clear that God for you the verses so that you may ponder and so you may think. And I think that that also kind of ties into the act of giving. Don't give more than your capacity. I think that's a very healthy way of looking at it.
Yeah.
Any comments, Mahab, or shall we move on?
No comments here. It's all good.
Cool.
في الدنيا والآخرة ويسألونك عن اليتامى قل إصلاح لهم خير فإخوانكم والله يعلم المفسد من المصلح ولو شاء الله لأعنتكم إن الله عزيز حكيم.
Okay. All right. So in matters that concern the world, the earth, and the hereafter, they ask you about the orphans. Say setting right or fixing for them is what's best. And if you associate with them, then they are your brothers. And God knows the corrupter from the amender, the do-gooder. And if God had willed it, He would have put you in difficulties. That confuses me a little bit because God is forever almighty. God is indeed God is almighty, all wise. What is, yeah? So, I mean, the first part's kind of clear, and the
So the first part, what it says is that they ask you about the orphans. So say that fixing things for them is setting their affairs right is good.
Yeah.
And if you would mix وَإِن تُخَالِطُوهُم means like
And if you
associate with them, and I read in the interpretations that this can mean that if you take them in your houses,
House.
like
yeah. So
تتبنوهم.
So if you take them in,
If you take them in, they are like your brothers.
Yeah.
And God knows who is the corrupter and who's doing good.
Yeah.
So in this verse it says if you take the orphans in and you live with them and raise them, then you are doing good. And and then here it says God knows who's the corrupter and who's doing good.
But also, for example, like you have the Cinderella stories. If you do take an orphan in and you don't do good to them, God knows.
Exactly.
God knows if you are corrupt in your treating them.
Yeah.
And if God wants, this is a bit confusing. لَأَعْنَتِكُمْ.
So if God wanted, He could have made things difficult for you, because here it doesn't like, it's not an obligation. It's not telling you have to do this. It's just like, fixing things for them is good. If you take them, it's good. If it's not obligatory,
Okay.
I think this is how I understood it, at least. So and if God willed, He would have made things more difficult for you, but He didn't. That's
لَأَعْنَتَكُمْ translates to I will curse you. So to kind of do.
no, because here لَعَنَتْكُمْ, but it's not the same word.
Oh, it's nothing that
لَأَعْنَتْ, it's different than.
It is لَأَعْنَتْكُمْ.
لأعنتكم.
لَأَعْنَتَكُمْ. Then this is not the right translation.
But I mean,
It's
it's kind of.
I will curse you.
He would have put you in difficulties, which kind of sounds like it was curse you. Yeah. It's not لعنتكم.
It's not lana. Yeah.
But yeah. But He could have made things difficult for you should He so desire.
Yeah.
Okay.
ولا تنكحوا المشركات حتى يؤمنوا ولأمة مؤمنة خير من مشركة ولو أعجبتكم ولا تنكحوا المشركين حتى يؤمنوا ولعبد مؤمن خير من مشرك ولو أعجبكم أولئك يدعون إلى النار والله يدعو إلى الجنة والمغفرة بإذنه ويبين آياته للناس لعلهم يتذكرون.
Okay. ولا تنكحوا. That's a new one. تنكحوا is marriage?
Yeah.
Why? Is it that's just the word? Why didn't it say? Why is it that verb of
This
it?
is the word that's used for marriage in the next
Classical way?
verses. Yeah, you will see it a lot.
Okay, and do not marry polytheistic women. Well, mushrikat.
Yeah, and then mushrikat, I think what it means is that these were the people who were worshipping
The
statues.
Well, anyone that
As I was
worships,
saying.
well, shirk is the belief that somebody is equal to God. So anybody that worships something other than God as if it was God.
Yeah, taking other gods with
Equal to your God.
Allah.
So, do not marry. And again here, the female tense, I don't think it necessarily refers to women, but it refers
No,
to...
here it refers to women because it refers again to men. So
Okay.
here it's like
It does talk about women first, and then
it talks about women first, and then it talks about men with the exact same meaning.
So do not marry polytheistic women or people who equate somebody to God until they believe, and the bondwoman who believes is better than the polytheistic woman.
Even if you
Even
like her,
if she
if
pleases
you
you,
like her.
and do not give in marriage to the polytheistic men. Okay. ولا تنكحوا do not give the polytheistic men until they believe, and the bondman who is believing is better than the polytheistic man, even if you like him. So here it says men and women, so it does cover both.
Yeah.
There are those who invite you to. Those are the ones who invite you to go to hell, to fire, and God invites you to heaven, paradise, and the forgiveness is to His permission, and He makes it clear His verses for the people, so that they may take heed and remember. Which is ironic, because growing up, I remember them saying only men can marry. Men can marry the Ahl al-Kitab.
But this is important because here polytheistics it doesn't refer to this is not Jews and Christians.
Yeah, but does that come later in this? Are we going to talk about the Jews and Christians later, or?
Yeah, I think it's allowed in Islam for.
I think it does mention Ahl al-Kitab specifically.
When it says al-mushrikeen wal-mushrikat, it's not referring to Christians and Jews. It's referring at that time the people who were worshipping like Quraysh. They were worshipping like other gods and other things.
Also at this time.
So, at that time.
Also, it's kind of interesting that it says don't marry polytheists. It doesn't mention atheists.
No, doesn't. Yeah, and this is why it's referring to specific people, and this is what I read, that they were worshipping like things,
Yeah, but I mean, still now people worship gods. People worship other gods, witches do primarily. But some of them worship them in understanding that there is a true God above them, and that there is a creator. So I don't feel like they're shirk, but that's a complicated. Let's not get into it too much.
Yeah, but also here there is something very specific to that time, because it says, and la ammatun mu'mina means like a slave.
Yeah, a bondwoman who's a slave who is believing is better than
a polytheistic woman who is free. So the free woman is like has money and stuff. So so this is also very specific to that time, and this is the same meaning also translated to a man, that a slave man is better than a free polytheistic man.
Yeah.
ويسألونك عن المحيض قل هو أذى فاعتزلوا النساء في المحيض ولا تقربوهن حتى يطهرن فإذا تطهرن فأتوهن من حيث أمركم الله إن الله يحب التوابين ويحب المتطهرين.
Okay, might get a little spicy, but we'll see. And they ask you about menstruation. Say that it is something that is harmful, something that is not good for you. So keep away from women who are during the menstruation period, and do not approach them until they are cleansed, until they're purified. So when they are cleansed or purified, here it is, then come to them from where God has ordered you, because indeed God loves the people who repent. I don't think it's the people who repent, the people who are kind of mindful, like the ones who are...
No, but tawabin is repentance.
Okay, it is repentance? Okay. and He loves those who purify themselves. Okay, because there's obviously a main topic that comes to mind when this comes. Obviously, don't have sex with women on their periods is very clear. Wait until their periods are done, and then you can have sex with them. And then this is where it gets, and then come to them from where has ordered you the Lord, which I think, I have to say, is this referring to anal versus vaginal?
Yeah, I think so.
Right? Because
I would say yes.
That's what I
But I'm
imagine.
not sure if it says in the Quran anywhere that don't go the anal path. I'm not sure.
Yeah, but here it's saying, and come to them from where God has ordered
Yeah,
you.
yeah, but where is that? Like,
Maybe
does it say somewhere else that God said do not,
Yeah.
have intercourse with, from the other side?
I hear you. I mean, like the reason why I say it's a little spicy is because this is how it might be interpreted somehow, but it's not necessarily true. You can also explain that where God has ordered you, as in this is the order that has come right before it. So don't do it during menstruation. But I don't know. There's a specific explanation for this. Do you have anything in your notes? No. Okay. It's okay. I mean, it's just an idea. I don't think it specifically mentions anal, but it says, come to where the Lord has ordered
but
you, which means
I
if the Lord
think
has
this
ordered you,
is,
it has to be in context to the rest of the orders.
This is how it is mostly understood.
Yeah. But we don't know if that's the accurate
Yeah.
respect. Okay. Sorry?
No, sorry to interrupt. No.
حرث لكم فأتوا حرثكم أنا شئتم وقدموا لأنفسكم واتقوا الله واعلموا أنكم ملاقوه وبشر المؤمنين.
Okay. This is where it gets a little. Your wives are harth, a tilth. It's like, I like the expression of farmland because that kind of expresses it correctly. In a way, no. Can we stop? Oh, there are footnotes. I didn't know that. And your wives are tilth for you, I guess. And so come to your tilth, or come to your. What is? Maybe this is kind of what's.
Yeah.
This is the word that's creating a
It
little spice.
is like land. It means.
Tillage. What does tillage mean anyway?
I don't know.
Crops.
Yeah,
it
it's
is like land.
land. It's like your land. And
Yeah.
what I read is that this, like it makes the example of, because the woman is like is the one who gets pregnant at the end of the day.
Mhm.
So this is why it gives the example of the land, that there is a seed, and then the land gives life, and then the woman gives life. So this is, I think.
So come to your tilth when you wish, and send forth to yourselves.
However you wish. أنا شئتم means كيفما شئتم. However you wish.
So approach the.
Actually, here I think this translation is better. As
Yeah.
you please. So approach them consensually as you please.
Yeah, they added consensually. I don't think it says specifically
No, it
consensually.
doesn't say consensually.
No.
But it's as you please, yeah.
Yeah, as you
أنا
please.
شئتم.
And send forth to yourselves, and be conscious for God, and so you know that you meet Him and give glad tidings to His believers.
Yeah. وقدموا لأنفسكم means like do good to yourself. And here, like also in the interpretation, it says that it comes after this. It comes after talking about women. That it means like do good to yourself by in the future having kids, building a family. Like do something that can bring you good in the future.
Yeah.
واتقوا الله means,
And be
of course,
mindful
be mindful of Allah,
God.
and know that you are meeting Him one day.
Yeah.
And give good news to the believers, or
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, we have to talk about it. It does mention consensually in this phrase, but
No.
you're right, it doesn't mention it. And isn't that a bit of the issue, which a lot of people hide behind this verse, saying that it's some people are saying that it claims that you don't need consent. That the expression of where it says "Ani shatum," when you wish.
It's not when. It's and this is why I said it's not when.
Well, as it pleases you.
It's as you wish, in the way you wish. It's not when you wish.
Okay, in the way that you wish. Isn't
Yeah.
some people's way a lack of consent?
No, but it doesn't say so. In the next verses, it discusses more about marriage and divorce and so on. But in this one, I don't see that. Yeah, it doesn't talk about consent, but it doesn't talk about lack of consent either. It doesn't give you the right to do something without consent either.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
And then when it says your women nisa'ukum, so you're talking here that it's without consent with the wife, you mean?
Kind of.
That it.
That's what I mean. I can see why a lot of people get confused.
Ah.
Your wives are tilth for you, so come to your tilth when you please, or as you please.
It's not when.
Come to your dearth as you please.
In the way you wish.
In the way you wish.
Yeah.
So what if someone's wish is a negative one, or a one without consent? That's where it gets a little bit
I don't know.
difficult.
Well, it also says at the end,
And do good for yourself.
Be mindful of God, and you will be questioned about what you did, sort of,
Yeah,
So,
to be honest, I don't see anything.
so it's like, guys, so you do whatever you want. However, remember that God is there, and you will be.
I do think that's a very good point.
Yeah.
It does say be mindful of God, and I think that's
Yeah.
kind of that is the counterpart to as you please or as you wish.
But does also, as you please, would that include anal, for example? Because it doesn't specify in the previous.
It also
Yeah.
doesn't specify.
Yeah.
It's not very clear.
Yeah.
It's not stated clearly, but
Yeah.
yeah.
It doesn't say that you have to. It doesn't say that you don't have to. So
Yeah.
I do think that we have to kind of, try and understand the context of it. And the context of it is the context that you were saying, which is to bring forth seed, to bring forth
Yeah.
children, to bring forth
Yeah.
offspring. So the idea is to be as plentiful as you can with offspring.
ولا تجعلوا الله عرضة لأيمانكم أن تبروا وتتقوا وتصلحوا بين الناس والله سميع عليم.
Actually, here it expands on that topic very much. And do not use God's name as an excuse for your oaths, so that you may do good or be righteous and make peace between people. And God is all-hearing and all-knowing. Do not use Allah's name in your oaths as an excuse for not doing good, or not guarding against evil, or not making peace between people. Allah is all-hearing, all-knowing. So this does counterpoint the excuse that a lot of men had said that, it means that I can do whatever I want.
Of course.
And here it's saying don't use God's name as an excuse for your oaths, so that you may do antabarru. Here it says antabarru, and here it says for not doing good.
For not doing good, yeah.
Why does it?
Because here it says that because for people, some people say like, I swear I won't do something that's good. So here the verse means that don't make God name in the way of doing something good.
Okay. The grammar confuses me a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, don't use God's name, or don't use the covenant
In your
of
oath.
God. Okay.
Like when you say by.
Yeah, as an excuse in your oaths, in your faiths, so that you. أن تبروا وتتقوا وتصلحوا بين الناس.
Yeah, so don't make God's name in the way of these things.
Okay.
Do you get the point?
I get the point that you're making, that don't say God's name and say that you're doing all good just in God's name.
No, that you make God's name in the way of making good. Like you say, I won't. I
Okay.
swear to God, I will not do that.
Okay, so
and that is something good.
Okay. Yeah, I swear to God, I won't do something good.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Well, for me, if we could take it as a continuation of the previous page, from the previous ayah, don't use God's name as a way to get away with not doing good. If that makes sense.
Yeah, it can be another way. Yeah, I know what you mean.
لا يؤاخذكم الله باللغو في أيمانكم ولكن يؤاخذكم بما كسبت قلوبكم والله غفور حليم.
Here it's talking, it's continuation of the previous verse. It's talking about people, and this is something that we do a lot in our countries. For some reason, we always say, Wallahi, I'm coming. Wallahi, it didn't happen. Wallahi, I did. Wallahi, I didn't. We always use God's name and swear by God and that we did or we didn't.
Yeah.
So here it says, God does not hold you accountable for unintentional oath because we're using it all the time. So God will not hold you accountable for something that you just said, like in the spur of the moment, but he will hold you accountable for ما كسبت قلوبكم. It means like what you intended in your heart. So if I'm really making an oath and I know that I'm lying, then this is something that that you will be held accountable for, not for speaking, just like speaking the way we do.
Yeah.
Wallahu ghafurun halim means like Allah is all forgiving and patient.
So here it's saying God doesn't, punish you for the things that you say, but He punishes you for the things that are in your heart, or He holds you accountable for what is your hearts have earned, what your heart's intent. And God is oft forgiving and most forbearing, which is kind of like, two sides of the same coin.
Yeah.
للذين يؤلون من نسائهم تربص 4 أشهر فإن فاءوا فإن الله غفور رحيم.
Okay. For those who swear off from their women as awaiting for 4 months, then if they return, then indeed God is oft forgiving and oft merciful.
Yeah, and I think the translation below is more accurate.
Yeah, those who swear
not to have intercourse with their wives
must wait for 4 months.
So that and in the interpretation that this is the maximum they can wait. So 4 months is like then afterwards, if it's like you don't want to be with her anymore, then you should let her go.
Okay, so that's a limit to how long you should deny your wife.
Stay away from your wife.
Just to think about what you want to do. So if you do return within those 4 months, then God is indeed.
Yeah, then it's okay. If you return within the 4 months, it's okay. But if it's more than the 4 months, then you should just let her go.
Which actually is kind of a very healthy thing to say for all couples. That if you're going to break up, say that you're going to break up, take a little separation, and then wait 4 months. And if before the end of the 4 months you decided you want to get back together, then get back together. If not, then let it go.
Yeah. Yeah, and here it says فَإِنْ فَاءُوا in the verse, فَإِنْ فَاءُوا means if they return within the 4 months, it's okay. So if they do not continue the oath, then it's
so if they don't, if you complete the 4 months, then it's done. But if you change your mind before the 4 months, then there's hope. And fa'u also kind of means they came awake, like it's kind of like coming back to your senses, kind of waking up, kind of. Yeah. Cool.
وإن عزموا الطلاق فإن الله سميع عليم.
Okay. And if they decide or they resolve to divorce, then God is all hearing, all knowing. Which is, God hears you, God knows why, so we understand that it's good. And now we get it. Do we need to explain this further? No, I think it's pretty clear,
I
right?
think it's clear, yeah.
And now it gets into what happens when you divorce.
المطلقات يتربصن بأنفسهن 3 قروء ولا يحل لهن أن يكتمن ما خلق الله في أرحامهن إن كن يؤمن بالله واليوم الآخر وبعولتهن أحق بردهن في ذلك إن أرادوا إصلاحا ولهن مثل الذي عليهن بالمعروف وللرجال عليهن درجة والله عزيز حكيم.
Okay, so, and for the divorcees, or the
women
who are divorced, they shall wait with themselves for 3 cycles, monthly periods, 3, I guess this just means monthly periods, their own monthly periods, so I guess, I don't know why it says that specifically, but that's interesting. And it is not...
it's like 3 months for the periods.
Yeah, but 3 periods worth, so it could be less than 3 months if you had your period shortly after.
Okay.
But I don't know if there's like a significance when it comes to childbearing. I'm not sure. I thought only 1 was proof, but
I don't know.
Anyway, and it's not lawful for them that they conceal what has been created by God in their wombs, and if they would believe in God and the final day.
So and women should not hide if they are pregnant. That's what it means.
Yeah, they should not hide with their...
I think that's why the 3 months, because like it's not necessarily periods, but in 3 months most likely they might start showing, like
yes, you're right.
I think so, but if they have their period, is it not one time just enough? That's why I'm confused.
I mean, what are they gonna يعني يعملوا مثل ايام زمان ويحطوا الشرشف تبع التخت ينشروه على البلكون.
Yeah. Which means if you guys
I have my period. They're not going to go advertise it.
Because I think you're right, Mohammed.
Okay.
But it's also a societal thing. Like,
wait 3 months so that they don't have to be exposed. And wait for 3 months so that they don't hide what has been created for them in their wombs. If they believe in God and the final day, will be out.
And their husbands.
And their husbands have better rights to take them back if during that period, if they happen to be, if they wanted to. Oh, so this is another thing. They're talking about the 3 monthly period. Their husbands can take them back if they wanted to.
If they want to reconciliate, if they want to
reconcile, and for them, the like is that of which for them has been reasonable.
No, it's like so women should do as they should get back.
Women have the similar rights.
Yeah, they have the same rights and
in the same reasonable manner.
They have the same they have the rights and they have to do at the same level. So what you do is what you get, in a way.
Yeah. And for their men, over them, a degree?
A degree, yeah. And this is something that, there are a lot of interpretations, but I don't know. So there are a lot of interpretations, and most of them that I don't really like. But, you can take it like, it is literally men have on women a degree. The way I understand it is that because men at that time used to spend, used to be the ones who work and get the money, and you will find in the next verses that he talks a lot about the money that al-mahr, the money that the man pays for the woman before marriage.
Yeah.
And so men used to do this on top of whatever women were doing. So, and here he says, لهن مثل الذي عليهن بالمعروف وللرجال عليهن درجة. It means that women take as much as they give and men have a degree upon them. What I understand is that it's like a degree in that the men were responsible for the spending. Like we're responsible for all the... We're giving the money for everything.
Because here we're talking about what exactly? We're talking about when the women are divorced, they have to wait for 3 cycles, 3 monthly periods, so that they don't hide what has been given by God. And those who believe in the last day, their husbands have a better right to take them back during that period. So here we're talking about the consent and taking it back if they want. And for the women is the same as which for in a reasonable manner. And the men have a step higher, and here we're talking about the responsibility and the desire to get back together.
Yes.
So I do think
it's talking mainly about the responsibilities and the things in a marriage and a divorce. Like when you get divorced, you take as much as you get. That's what it means. لهن مثل الذي عليهن وللرجال عليهن درجة. The way I understand it is that because men spend a lot of money, and in the next verses it's in more details. They used to pay something for the women before the marriage, and then if they get divorced, then they pay something. So this, I think, is the difference here.
So I have a question. Why does it previously mention 4 months? And then now it mentions 3 months. Oh, so this is after divorce. The other one is not divorce. The other one's before divorce.
Can you bring the other one?
The 4 one is...
this is not about divorce. This is not about divorce. But actually, we will get to another verse where it says 4 months. No, wait for it.
There's
but
more
here it says 3 months in case of divorce.
In case
after
of divorce.
The woman waits
3
for
cycles.
3 cycles. Or 3 cycles.
الطلاق مرتان فإمساك بمعروف أو تسريح بإحسان ولا يحل لكم أن تأخذوا مما آتيتموهن شيئا إلا أن يخافا ألا يقيما حدود الله فإن خفتم ألا يقيما حدود الله فلا جناح عليهما فيما افتدت به تلك حدود الله فلا تعتدوها ومن يتعد حدود الله فأولئك هم الظالمون.
Okay. All right. The divorce is twice.
The divorce is twice because for Muslims, if the third divorce you cannot return, you can return. So divorce can be retracted twice. It's explained below. So if a man divorces a woman, then they want to get back together, then he has the right to reconciliate and they get remarried, let's say. So they can do that twice. But then the third time, after divorce, he cannot do that anymore. She needs to get married again. But it's explained also in the next verses. So here it says the divorce is twice. So either you retain in a good way. Or you let go also in a good way.
Also with kindness.
This
is a reasonable manner, kindness. And it is not lawful for you
to take what you have brought them, and this is what I was talking about, that they used to give women money, or I don't know, it's al-mahr. Until now we pay mahr for the woman before marriage. Whatever it is, money, diamond ring, I don't know. Like something. So here it says when you divorce them, you are not allowed to take what you have given them. Unless they are scared that they fear they both can't keep the limits of God. And here it mentions that this refers to in a way that they do not like each other. Like the woman really doesn't like the man, and she's not accepting him in a way,
Or the man doesn't like the woman.
or the man doesn't like
So
the
if
woman.
they're both fear that they cannot keep
that
within
they
the
cannot
limits.
keep the limits of Allah فإن خفتم ألا يقيموا حدود الله. So if you fear that you cannot keep the limits of God for marriage,
so there is no sin for you.
Yeah. So there is no sin for you that فيما افتدت به means that she can let go of the money or whatever she was given before marriage in return of like
freedom and separation.
Yeah, so if she says, okay, I just don't like him, I want to get a divorce, okay, then she gets a divorce, but in that case, she doesn't keep the money or the mahr that she was given before the marriage.
Okay, and these are the limits that God has set, so do not transgress against them. And whoever transgress these limits, then those are the people who are the wrongdoers. So what is it saying? It's maybe we're retracted twice. It's not lawful for husbands to take back any of the dowry from their wives unless the couple fears unable to be keep the limits of law. So if they fear to be able to keep the limits, then there's no blame if the wife compensates the husband to obtain divorce, to pay back the dowry. Essentially, these are the limits set by God. Do not transgress them. And whoever transgresses the limits of God, then they are true wrongdoers.
Okay, now I fell in love with Islam all over again.
Wow, this is the ayah?
So if the woman who initiates the divorce or says she doesn't want to be married anymore, المهر والمادة والمؤخر goes away?
I think she has to.
She says, I don't want to continue anymore. Then
I'm sending this to my B ex-wife. B stands for female dog.
Yeah.
Oh, this is beautiful.
Isn't it fair?
Oh, this is beautiful. This is gorgeous.
You are gorgeous. I'm very happy you're happy. And again,
مش حسب احترام للقرآن بس تاكل خرا يعني.
مش حسب بس تاكل. Okay.
I was gonna say a lot worse. Yeah.
I understand. I agree. And essentially here it's kind of talking about how you can get out of a divorce, and if you're able to not keep within the limits of God. And I also think that here, this does speak against for instance, the violation of consent, the violation of will. I think
or it could also be that, she cheated. That's also out of the limits of God.
Sure, cheated is out of the limits of God. Hurting each other is out of the limits of God.
Yeah, of course.
Causing destruction or devastation. So I think this, for me, says rape is not allowed.
Of course, rape is not allowed.
I mean,
because all the verses talking about the relationship between women and men, it always mentions عاملوهن بمعروف. Always be
treat
good.
Them with good and
always
be kind.
treat them with kindness. Always remember the good stuff. So, of course, like
I know you say of course, but there's a lot of idiots out there that need it to be written out. So it is written out specifically and explicitly. These are the limits of God, so do not transgress. And whoever transgresses the limits, then whoever is not able to do it in a reasonable manner or to release with kindness, do not transgress. Of the limits of God, then those are the ones who are the wrongdoers. So it is explicitly mentioned. If you break these limits, you're the one who's at fault.
And of course, women also have the right to have a divorce. So if the woman doesn't like the man, or if he's violent, or if he hurts her in any way, the woman also has the right to say, okay, I cannot continue this marriage. In that case, she will give up like the mahr. But I think that's nothing. But she has the right to end it.
Yeah, which is beautiful. But she has to forgo her dowry. So we're happy that you fell in love with Islam again.
I told you he was going
just as far so I can shove it down her throat.
But this is kind of exactly why I'm doing this whole exercise of reading the Quran, because there's a lot of people that say a lot of wrong things in the name of religion. And it's just not true. Like a lot of people said that these phrases mean that you can, unconsensually take your wife, which is like, no, it doesn't say that. And it does say the exact opposite. But
فإن طلقها فلا تحل له من بعد حتى تنكح زوجا غيره فإن طلقها فلا جناح عليهما أن يتراجعا إن ظنا أن يقيما حدود الله وتلك حدود الله يبينها لقوم يعلمون.
Okay.
So here, and if he divorces her, if the husband divorces the wife for the third time, it means for the third time.
Okay.
Because in the previous verse it was saying divorces twice, and then here it says, so if he divorces her after the 2 times, which is the third time,
Yeah.
then it's not allowed for him anymore to
Then she's not lawful for him to from after that.
unless
she remarries
marries
someone else.
another man. She marries another man
Other than him?
other than him, and then if this other man
Then divorces her?
then divorces her, then if they still want to, her and the ex-husband,
Yeah.
if they still want to get back together, so there is no nothing wrong for them to
There's
get
no
back
sin
together and
for them to get back.
there's
Or
no
to-
sin for them
There
to
might
return to each other if they think that they will then
be able, to,
keep
keep within the limits of God.
yeah.
And these are the limits of God. He made them clear for people that know.
Yeah, but also something that I read about this, which I think is very valid, is that this should not be that she's just marrying another person so that she returns to her previous husband. That's not the point. She should be really marrying another person that she moved on and then married another person. And then if it happens that they get divorced, then she can consider returning to the ex-husband. But it shouldn't be that people be doing that like
just for the
like
sake
a game,
of it.
you know,
Yeah.
like.
Yeah. Okay, clear.
وإذا طلقتم النساء فبلغن أجلهن فأمسكوهن بمعروف أو سرحوهن بمعروف ولا تمسكوهن ضرارا لتعتدوا ومن يفعل ذلك فقد ظلم نفسه ولا تتخذوا آيات الله هزوا واذكروا نعمة الله عليكم وما أنزل عليكم من الكتاب والحكمة يعظكم به واتقوا الله واعلموا أن الله بكل شيء عليم.
Okay. And if you divorce the women and they reach أجلهن,
The waiting term, which is the 3
mentioned the 3 months.
The 3 months.
فأمسكوهن, so touch them or retain them or give them, or touch them sounds like an interesting version of it. Touch them with a fair manner or release them in a fair manner, and do not retain them harmfully
To hurt them.
so that you may transgress. And whoever does that, then for he has wronged himself.
Yeah, so if the man is just keeping the woman just
out of spite.
Yeah.
And the only person he's hurting is himself. And do not take the verses of God in jest. And remember the favors of God upon you and what has been revealed for you from the book and from its wisdom. He instructs you with it so that you may be mindful of God and know that God is of everything all-knowing. Yeah, again, here it's talking about how to treat, even when you're kind of, it's just be kind, be fair, be honest. If you reach the waiting period, you can either let them go honorably or retain them honorably. Whatever you do, you have to do it well, you have to do it fine, and don't cause them any harm. And whoever transgresses is only harming himself. And don't mock the verses of God.
Don't take the verses of God as a mockery,
as a joke, and saying that you can do whatever you want, and from what was brought to you from the book and its wisdom. And he instructs you to be fearful and mindful of God, and that he knows everything because he is all-knowing. Actually, pretty clear. I thought this was going to be a lot more complicated, because I know there's a lot of retardation that comes back from our regions with regards to marriage.
I can confirm the retardation.
Sorry?
I can confirm the
You
retardation.
can confirm
from
the
our
retardation.
culture.
I mean, I've heard a lot of horrible stories, and it's just
Yeah, it's just that
yeah.
people are retarded.
People are horrible.
sometimes.
Yeah, not the religion itself.
No. The religion, actually, I think it's very nice.
Yeah.
Like, I think these verses are very nice, to be honest. I was enjoying reading it.
Beautiful.
And,
Yeah.
Beautiful.
yeah, it's really beautiful.
Yeah.
Yep.
I was
I
worried.
wish I had done this, a few years back.
Yeah. See, if you had been a Muslim and read the Quran earlier, you would have saved yourself a
Yeah.
lot of trouble. It's
No,
almost like it's
not for me. It's for her to shut the f up.
It's also for you to
Not for
protect
me.
yourself from her.
Yeah. Because
So-
anyway,
It-
discussion for later time.
Yeah.
Let's,
Okay. All right. Okay.
إذا طلقتم النساء فبلغن أجلهن فلا تعضلوهن أن ينكحن أزواجهن إذا تراضوا بينهم بالمعروف ذلك يوعظ به من كان منكم يؤمن بالله واليوم الآخر ذلكم أزكى لكم وأطهر والله يعلم وأنتم لا تعلمون.
Okay, continuation of the divorce. I think it's the last verse of it because it looks like there's a new section. And when you have divorced them, the women, and they reached their waiting time, so do not hinder them from marrying their husbands.
From marrying other husbands.
Other husband. No.
Yeah, so if they reach the waiting period, which is 3 months, so after the 3 months, you should not stop them from getting married to other people.
Yeah.
That's what it means.
And when they agree between themselves in a fair manner, that is admonished.
Yu'adh bihi means like this is like a teaching or I don't know.
Agreeing the parent prevent them from remarrying their husband if they come to an honorable agreement. This is enjoyed on whoever has faith in Allah on the last day.
ذلك يوعظ به من كان منكم مؤمنا. So those who believe in Allah and the last day take this as teaching. And,
Yeah. That is more virtuous for you and purer for God, who knows you and you do not know.
And God knows and you do not know. So yeah, I think this is also very nice that it says that if you divorce a woman and then after the 3 months, you should not like try to stop her from marrying someone else or doing whatever she wants with her life, basically.
I find it interesting that it says that, do not hinder them from marrying their husbands. Now here they're saying do not prevent them from marrying their ex-husband, which I don't know why.
But
it could be their ex-husbands, it could be their husbands.
It could be any other man.
Yeah.
And that's how it is actually. That they have this waiting period, the 3 months, and then afterwards the woman is free to get married again to her ex-husband or to any other person.
Yeah, ironically, most of this is talking about liberties, what liberties people have, rather than limitations.
Yeah.
It's kind of talking about that you're free to kind of go around, which is interesting.
Yeah, this is why I told you this part is very nice.
Yeah. Okay.
والوالدات يرضعن أولادهن حولين كاملين لمن أراد أن يتم الرضاعة وعلى المولود له رزقهن وكسوتهن بالمعروف لا تكلف نفس إلا وسعها لا تضار والدة بولدها ولا مولود له بولده وعلى الوارث مثل ذلك فإن أرادا فصالا عن تراض منهما وتشاور فلا جناح عليهما وإن أردتم أن تسترضعوا أولادكم فلا جناح عليكم إذا سلمتم ما آتيتم بالمعروف واتقوا الله واعلموا أن الله بما تعملون بصير.
Okay. All right, bit by bit. Mothers that suckle or feed their babies, breastfeed their children for about 2 years completely, and whoever wishes to complete the suckling sooner or على المولود.
Yeah, so mothers breastfeed their children for 2 years for those who want to complete the breastfeeding. So I think the 2 years is like the maximum.
Okay.
I think. And then for the baby, وعلى المولود, for the baby.
For the baby, not for the father. For him.
Yeah, for the father actually. وعلى
Oh.
المولود له. So for the father of the
him.
baby, he needs to provision
their provisions, their clothing, and,
yeah.
And the ma'ruf was mentioned previously, fair manner, but in goodness, in doing favor.
In a good way.
Yeah. Do not is burden this any soul except for what it's at capacity. So here it's saying if you're not able to, then you are forgiven from it in a way. And do not made to suffer.
Yeah, so لا تضار والدة بولدها means that a mother should not be harmed by her baby, and the same for the father. He shouldn't be harmed by the baby, meaning that each person like ولا تكلف نفسا إلا وسعها. So each self is only obliged for what it can do. So you are not like,
you don't have to overburden
yeah,
yourself.
exactly. If you're a poor person, then you should not stop eating to get your son more. I don't know. That's the way I understood it.
I kind of get what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's like the father and the mother should do what they can do.
Yeah,
like
what's possible.
They should only do what's possible for the baby. They shouldn't be harming themselves for to provide more than they can.
And for the heir of the father is like a duty of the father. Then if then if they both desire a weaning from mutual consent for the both of them and a consultation, so then there is no blame on them. And if they wanted, what does that mean?
So let's explain this first. وعلى الوارث مثل ذلك فإن أرادوا so and if the father died, وعلى الوارث مثل ذلك means that if the father died,
the father's heir,
then the father's heir should also have the same duty towards the baby and the mother in the way that they provide what they can provide. فإن أراد فصالا عن تراضي means that if they want, فصالا means that stop breastfeeding. Because we were talking about breastfeeding, that the mother breastfeeds for 2 years, and then here it says that if the parents decide to stop the breastfeeding, عن تراضي منهما means that in agreement. وتشاور means that they also asked
and
consultation.
Yeah.
And with a doctor or with someone who understands, then there is no problem to stop before the 2 years. وإن أردتم أن تسترضعوا أولادكم means that if you want to get another woman to breastfeed the child, I think now there is no need for that because there is formula and there are other things. But at the time, they used to get another woman to breastfeed the children. So if it says if you want to get another woman to breastfeed the child, then there is no problem with that. وإن أردتم أن تسترضعوا أولادكم فلا جناح عليكم.
And if you wanted to تسترضعوا means
ask another woman to breastfeed your child,
so there's no sin for you. And if you pay what has been given for you, what you give from in a fair manner and fear God, and you know.
Yeah, so for the woman who is breastfeeding your children, you should pay
give
for
her,
it.
Yeah, you should give her in a fair manner,
in a fair way, also.
While being mindful of God and know that God is what you're doing. Knowing He can see it.
Yeah.
So if you're going to ask somebody else to be a surrogate breastfeeder, then be fair to them if the case is there.
والذين يتوفون منكم ويذرون أزواجا يتربصن بأنفسهن 4 أشهر وعشرا فإذا بلغن أجلهن فلا جناح عليكم فيما فعلن في أنفسهن بالمعروف والله بما تعملون خبير.
Okay. And those of you who pass away from you and leave behind wives, widows, they should wait themselves for 4 months and 10 days, so that when they reach this specific time, so there is no sin upon you for what they do concerning themselves in a fair manner, and God is of what you know all aware.
So here the waiting time is different. So in the case of divorce, the waiting time for a woman was 3 cycles. Here it says 4 months and 10 days.
Yeah.
I think that's my personal opinion. I think maybe here it's like different because if it's like death, then also psychologically there is like also an emotional part to deal with. It's not only about
the birth of your child.
Yeah.
I think that makes sense. Also, in the first, so we've had 3 terms right now.
Yeah.
We had 4 months for if you stop having sex with them, and then if you're having a fight with your wife.
Yeah.
4 months to reconsider, the cool down period, maximum of 4 months. After that, it's too late. Then you have 3 cycles after divorce.
Yeah.
And then you have 4 months and 10 days after death.
Yeah.
Again, all of these are telling you how much time to kind of be fair and be reasonable to all parties.
Yeah. And then after the 4 months and 10 days, the woman can do also whatever she wants.
Yeah.
ولا جناح عليكم فيما عرضتم به من خطبة النساء أو أكننتم في أنفسكم علم الله أنكم ستذكرونهن ولكن لا تواعدوهن سرا إلا أن تقولوا قولا معروفا ولا تعزموا عقدة النكاح حتى يبلغ الكتاب أجله واعلموا أن الله يعلم ما في أنفسكم فاحذروه واعلموا أن الله غفور حليم.
Random side note, I feel really good. I don't know why, but I just feel like things.
I feel very, very, very happy.
Yeah, I got this feeling just now. It was weird.
Nice.
Did you get it just now, or has it been a while?
No, I just got it when they started talking about divorce and the madda muakhara and the money that has to be paid for the children and.
No, for me it was
and all that, because there's a conversation I'm dying to have with someone.
Okay, all right. My feel good is very different than your feel good, but let's walk away. I just felt like there was a significant change. I don't know if it's because of I'm fasting and the sugar finally entered my head, and I was able to finally digest it. But I just felt like a significant shift, and between one moment to the next, it just felt really good. Like I feel really hopeful. I don't know why. It could be my mania. God knows I have mental issues. But anyway, let's carry on. And it's not a sin. There's no blame for you if in what عرضتم.
Like to tell a woman that you like her, or showing interest in
showing interest
to women
who are
during the waiting period, which is 3 months or 3 cycles for the divorced and 4 months and 10 days for the widow. Then you can show interest in them.
فما عرضتم به من خطبة, so would you hint with them from marriage proposal for the women, or you conceal it to yourselves?
Or if you conceal it to yourself, also there is no sin on you.
But where does it say divorce? It just says from women. I see the translation.
I think that it's related to the previous verses, because no, here لكن إلا أن تقولوا
it also starts
حتى يبلغ الكتاب أجله.
Okay.
Here, so حتى يبلغ الكتاب أجله means the waiting period is over. So
Yeah.
I think in this verse it's
Yeah.
related specifically to women who are like waiting in the for this period to be over.
Also, because it starts the ayah with wa, so you know that when it starts with and, it is a continuation of the previous.
And it's a continuation of what we were talking about.
And there's no way. So in the previous manner, it said, "And those of you who leave their behind their husbands or wives who die or pass away." So yeah, it's not a sin for you, or there's no blame for you to hint of a marriage proposal for those women, or to conceal it for yourselves, because God knows that you will mention Him, but do not promise them the windows secretly.
لا توعدوهن سرا. I think it means do not date them, like do not go out
date
with
them or make like arrangements for marriage.
Without publicly declaring it.
In secret.
Yeah. So you can keep it. You can
Allah.
do
beautiful,
it.
Beautiful. I love
it. No, it really is.
Yeah.
So you can say something, you can hint to it, you can show her that you're interested, but do not be dating her in secret, or like doing something you're not supposed to do in secret.
Except that you are saying what was something is honorable, or ma'rufans also mean is known. Yeah, but it usually means the goodness, the good kind. Yeah. And do not resolve on the not.
Yeah, and do not make a marriage proposal, and do not make the marriage actually. Do not get married. Yeah. Until
it reaches the prescribed term. Yeah. Until the prescribed term is reached at its end, and know that God is knowing for what is inside yourselves. So be wary of Him, and know that God is oft forgiving and almost forbearing. I love this double duo combination. It's like He will oft forgive, but He is also most forbearing. It sounds very scary.
Why?
Like forbearing of what? Forbearing, because for me, it's like it's a blessing, yet also something that you have to be kind of mindful of God.
Because I don't know, for me, the way I understand Halim is like patient. He's like very patient.
كتر خيرك. Okay, maybe I'm misunderstanding it. It's okay. All right, cool. So here, what is it saying? If you're interested in divorced women, then you can make your intention known, or you can keep it concealed. But if you do make it known, do not make it a secret commitment to them. Do it like publicly, be kind of very open, and do it in good and interest for them. Do not commit to the bond of marriage until the waiting period ends, and know that God knows what's in your hearts. Beware of Him. See, because it starts with, it always says beware of Him. فاحذروه وَاعْلَمُوا أَنَّهُ غَفُورٌ حَلِيمٌ.
But أعلم أن الله غفور حليم. For me, غفور حليم is like He's forgiving. So even if you do mistakes, He forgives you. That's the way I understand غفور.
غفور, yes.
And Halim is like also, it means patient, like patient. Sabur, يعني Halim is like, this is the way I understand it at least. It refers to like patience and forgiveness. So I think it's actually a very merciful thing.
Okay. Yeah. I'm not going to stress too much on it because I don't fully understand it, but fair.
لا جناح عليكم إن طلقتم النساء ما لم تمسوهن أو تفرضوا لهن فريضة ومتعوهن على الموسع قدره وعلى المقتر قدره متاعا بالمعروف حقا على المحسنين.
Okay. There's no blame for you if you divorce women and who you did not have touched, or you specify it, أو تفرضوا عليهن,
and you didn't specify المهر. The money that was. Is it the dowry?
It is the dowry. Dowry is mahr.
Okay, so.
Do not specify the dowry for them. And make provisions for the wealthy according to his means, and for the poor according to his means, a provision of in a fair manner that is a duty for you to the good doers. So here it's saying, it's no blame if you want to divorce women before the marriage is consummated, or the dowry settled, but then give them a subtle compensation for taking their wasting their time. The rich to his means, the poor to his means. A reasonable, a fair provision should be a duty for you, for the good doers. Makes sense.
Yeah.
وإن طلقتموهن من قبل أن تمسوهن وقد فرضتم لهن فريضة فنصف ما فرضتم إلا أن يعفون أو يعفو الذي بيده عقدة النكاح وأن تعفوا أقرب للتقوى ولا تنسوا الفضل بينكم إن الله بما تعملون بصير.
Okay, so here it's saying previously is if you hadn't paid the dowry or hadn't touched them, and if you divorced them from before you touched them, however, while you already has specified the dowry or you had paid the dowry, so give half of what has been specified, unless unless the women forgo it, or forgoes the one whose hand is the knot of marriage, which I think is the man, I guess, in this case.
Yeah.
And if you forgo, it's closer to taqwa, mindfulness, kind of righteousness. At-taqi shay is to be mindful of it, but righteous is the correct way, because to do things in the right way. And do not forget the graciousness between you, or what has been, said between you guys. Indeed, God is of what you do, all-seeing. Yeah, cool. If you're divorced before consummating the marriage, but after the deciding on the dowry, pay half the dowry unless the wife waives it for the husband, or the husband graciously pays it in full. So graciousness is closer to righteousness, so either side can be more gracious and get closer to be more rightful. And do not forget kindness amongst yourselves. God is all-seeing of what you do.
Yep.
حافظوا على الصلوات والصلاة الوسطى وقوموا لله قانتين.
Okay, this has been a spicy topic because it's come up with me, a conversation with me and my mom. Safa brought it up today. Well, obviously she was studying it, but there's always been a disagreement in terms of lack of clarity as to how many prayers we should do. Here it says guard strictly or protect or watch out for the prayers and the prayer of the middle prayer.
And the middle prayer.
And the middle prayer. حافظوا على الصلوات والصلاة الوسطى.
Yeah. So keep the prayers and the middle prayer.
Yeah. And stand up for God and be devoutly obedient.
Yeah.
So here they're adding, as you can see, they're adding the 5 obligatory prayers because that's what the prayer did. And here it says especially the middle prayer, which we agree. What we can tell from this is at least there's 3.
Yeah.
It could be 5, it could be 7, it could be more, because there has to be a middle prayer, so it should be an odd number at the very least. Safa and I understand it as it's possibly 3. Muhab, I think, thinks that there's 5, if I'm not mistaken.
No, I'm saying it could be any odd number.
Okay, any odd number, which I agree. That's not 1. But yeah, there's a bit of unclarity about how many prayers one should do in the day. But at the very least, be mindful, or especially the middle prayer, you should do the most. You should focus on the most.
فإن خفتم فرجالا أو ركبانا فإذا أمنتم فاذكروا الله كما علمكم ما لم تكونوا تعلمون.
Okay. And if you fear...
if you are in danger. If you are scared.
If you are scared, then pray on foot or while riding, so that when you are secure, remember to mention or to remember God as He has taught you, and what not to be, and what has He has taught you what you did not know, what you were not aware of.
Yeah.
But when you are safe, take the time to remember Allah. If you're in danger, pray on foot or while riding. That's pretty interesting. But when you're safe, take time to remember Allah for teaching you what you did not know. Yeah. I do that often. I try.
والذين يتوفون منكم ويذرون أزواجا وصية لأزواجهم متاعا إلى الحول غير إخراج فإن خرجن فلا جناح عليكم فيما فعلن في أنفسهن من معروف والله عزيز حكيم.
Okay, and those that die from you and leave behind their wives, a will should be made for their wives with provisions for what
For the year.
for the year,
Yeah.
without driving them out. But if they leave, then there is no blame on you in what they do concerning themselves, from honorably within God. God is almighty, all wise. Essentially, it's saying if you die leaving widows, you're kind of forced to give them a year's maintenance. But if they choose to leave, you're not accountable for what they take to reasonably decide for themselves. And God is almighty, all wise. Pretty clear. Last two, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
وللمطلقات متاع بالمعروف حقا على المتقين.
And for the divorced women, a provision of that is fair, which is the duty on the righteous. I think so. Makes sense?
كذلك يبين الله لكم آياته لعلكم تعقلون.
And in this way, that is how God makes it clear for you that his verses so that you may use your intellect. I think pretty straightforward. This is kind of a recurring theme that there is a bit of repetition, and I think there's beauty in the repetition of the Quran. It kind of mentions often that, this is all for your benefit, this is all for you to know, all for you to be aware, all for you to kind of take care of each other. Anything you guys want to add?
No, that's good for me.
It's good for me. That concludes another session for the Quran. As usual, we end every session with وَصَدَقَ اللَّهُ الْعَلِيُّ الْعَظِيمُ. Thank you all for tuning in, and see you same time next week. Ciao.